morning, weirdos. How are y'all today? I hope you're all well. I'm tired. Here's my brush. Brushing. Oh, so how goes it? Oh, that's me, Mr. Promosm. Get your Promosm right here. Well, let's see. Coffee. Get some coffee. No, while morning comes too early, coffee doesn't come quick enough. Okay. Bones. Oh, bones. Oh. Well, I don't expect this to be a long show today. While I do get a nap for a couple of hours during the middle of the day, my night mostly consists of about 4 or 5 hours sleep. Just the way it is. Just the way I'm built. Oh, glorious. Glorious what? Panties? Glorious no, glorious. Take it easy, Ace. Well, and don't get me wrong. I mean, I could say if I didn't have y'all to talk to, I wouldn't have anybody to talk to at all. But I just talk to myself. I mean, that's what I do anyway, right? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, good morning, everyone. It is January 18th, 2024. Every time I say 2024, I feel like one of those science fiction movie narrators. And it was 2024 when it happened. My goodness. I thought the future would be different than it is. Of course, most of y'all watching this are probably going to say, I didn't know the past was like that. My God. Holy hell. Was he really saying that shit? All right. Well, if anybody wants to talk shark movies, your assignment was to watch your favorite shark movie so we could talk about it. Baby shark, doo 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 doo, baby shark, doo 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 doo, baby shark. All right, I'll stop there. But I really love that song. I don't know why. It's infectious. It's I just love it. So, well, baby shark. So this is my room. This is where I live. This is where I reside. Yeah. So what do you do on a morning where you're just so freaking lost and tired? Hmm? Huh? Ah. Hmm. So I finished Shiny Happy People. I don't know if I mentioned before that I finished the documentary. Only 4 episodes. My goodness. I guess that's one of those things that happens when you have politics, religion, and authority with no education. And that's how you get that. That's how you get the Dugars. Or that family in Moreno Valley with the, you know, with the 18 kids and counting locked up in a bedroom. The worst thing about humans, I think, in my book, is that they have children just so that they can turn them into the horrible frickin' demons that they are, claiming otherwise. That's got to be the worst, is these sucky, horrible humans procreating. I mean, just take a look around you and you can see where ignorance has gotten us. And you can have a formal education and still be a frickin' moron. Mm. So, yeah. Yes, indeed. Why am I always facing this way? Because that's the way my swings. It just seems to wind up over there. Mm. This here's y'all know who that is. I don't even have to say who it is, but I will. That's Willard Nelson. Is the man. Willie. Willie boy. Ow! Wow. Hmm. Some mornings coffee is all that can be done, all that can be said, all that can be felt. Sometimes it's just coffee. Hmm. I was on the phone the other night. Actually, it was video conferencing with my brother. And he said, "What's this blue light up here? This blue light right here." Well, that's the reflection of you guys. That's the reflection of my TV monitor out in front of me here. And it's reflecting off of this picture here. A Native American Sioux warrior. Yeah. So, once again, I'm an open book. Shoot me a message. Let me know you're there. I'll let you know that I'm still alive. And ask me about anything in here. Ask me to randomly go around here and choose some records or books or something to talk about. Or a game. Or a photograph. Or something. I got drawers full of stuff to look at. Yeah. And then otherwise, I can just sit here and scratch myself like a freaking chango. Como chango. Well, I asked my wife to make a little extra coffee. I seem to be having to up my coffee game every day a little bit. And I get to a point to where I'm out and I don't want to steal from her. So I'll just have a little tiny bit of a warm up today, and then I'll do me. So what do you all do when you get up in the morning? How do you prepare for the day? Me, I try not to prepare for anything. I used to be always prepared, always ready to go and nowhere to go. So once or twice a year, I get prepared and then hang it in the closet until somebody else is ready, and then I just dust it off. Look, here's my preparation. I'm ready to go. I like my denim bag I showed you the other day that my wife made. Freaking awesome. Thank you, dear. Good stuff. Good stuff. That's always packed and ready to go. I'm always packed and ready to go. Ready to go where? How do you tell me? I'll tell you what I don't have. It's a passport. I don't do passports. That means I got to leave the country. I don't even like the part of the world that I'm in contact with. You know? To keep the rest of the world. I mean, hello, this is about as close as I want to get. So if you're out there in the world, wherever you are, good morning. How are you? Yeah, I don't see any comments. So I guess y'all aren't there. Hello, China. Ni hao. Buenos dias, Spanish-speaking America and Spanish-speaking world. ¿Cómo le va? Buenos dias. Oh, neck check. Man. This whole neck thing is severely overrated. We need the neck anyway, right? Oh. Oh. Yeah. So anyways. Yeah. Have we thanked anyone lately? I'd like to thank my viewers, my subscribers. I'd like to thank friends and family for hanging out. I just keep thinking about the world in general. And what a scary fucking place, right? Man. Man. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'll tell you what. Next week, let's talk Willie Nelson. How's that? Let's put that in the old calendario here. Next week, we want to talk about Willie Nelson. Wow. Sorry if I blew your eardrums. Oh, sniffles. Let's talk Willie Nelson. Let's talk Willie Nelson in music. Let's talk Willie Nelson, the songwriter. Let's talk Willie Nelson, the TV personality. Let's talk Willie Nelson, the movie actor. Let's talk Willie Nelson, the father. Yeah. Good stuff there. I would suggest doing a little research, listening to a little Willie, watching a little Willie, playing with your little Willie. I think that would probably be best. Willie Nelson did do a lot of unusual things. So the one thing that I remember, half remember because my memory sucks, was an episode of, I think, I want to say the Rockford Files, where Willie Nelson was a guest star, but it was only his voice. There was another actor playing the singer using Willie Nelson's song as his music. Willie Nelson's song. So it's Willie Nelson singing and another actor being that character. And I'm probably mistaken, but I hope I'm not. But I watched this episode, fervently looking for Willie Nelson and never saw him unless Willie Nelson looked a whole lot different. But having seen him in a few things back in the same period as Rockford Files, that couldn't have been him. Anybody want to talk Willie Nelson? Shoot me up now or hit me up next week. I got to warm up this coffee. It's got to just be hot. It's got to scald the throat, you know. Oh, yeah. Oh. Well, I hope you all enjoyed yesterday's show with the Escape and Lineagen versus the Ants and Suspense. Sorry, Wrong Number with Agnes Moorehead. You know, it's Agnes Moorehead just has she was an awesome actress, had just a phenomenal voice. It's like I've heard this Sorry, Wrong Number like a cajillion times, right? Since I was a little kid. And it doesn't matter how many times I've heard it, when I get to the end and she's frantically trying to get the police on the phone and waiting for the cretin to come upstairs and murder her. That whole last minute is just awesome. It still grabs me by the poo-poo. It really does. Good stuff. Good stuff. There is a lot of old time radio out there. There's tons of it on YouTube alone. If you just type in old time radio on YouTube search, it'll take you to some great places. A couple of places that I'm viewing old time radio shows from is Old Time Radio Researchers on YouTube and Old Time Radio Archives on YouTube. So if you get a chance, stop by their place, check out some videos, some audio videos, and give them a like and subscribe. It means a lot to us YouTubers. Not that I consider myself the standard general run-of-the-mill YouTuber. I mean, I don't really ascribe to any of the standard production techniques. I use an old school microphone, old school cameras, old school everything. I'm pretty much old school. So, and I'm an open book. So if there's anything that you all wish to talk to me about, hit me up. You know, let's see, what do we got here today? We got a little banjo from Coastal Sun and a little tropea. Tropea is a indica hybrid, and yeah, banjo is a sativa dominant hybrid. Since banjo is focused and uplifted, I will try that rather than sedated and relaxed. I'd rather be a little uplifted this morning than relaxed, even though when I finish here, more than likely I'm just going to go back to bed. And that's because things are still early around here. My daughter doesn't even get up until after 1 or 2. And I don't force the issue because First of all, she's an adult. Second of all, she's a straight A college student on her way to university. And her school class schedule usually calls for a nighttime class, in which case my method of nighttime work and classes was to sleep until it was time to go to that class or work, so that you're as fresh as possible. And that's what she does. If she's got a late class, like a 6 o'clock class, she's not even going to get up till 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and then eat, shower, get dressed, and go to school and be on her best game. So that's the method that I used, and that's the method that she uses. So she sleeps late in the day, and that's fine by me. You know, I was never allowed to just do whatever the hell I wanted, and so then I would just go out and do whatever the hell I wanted, but I would do it in kind of a payback mode. Well, if I can't do it, then I'm going to do it twice as bad. And so she doesn't have that issue at all. She isn't out to impress anyone. She isn't out to punish us. She isn't out to punish herself. I think the best thing I can say about my daughter, she's out to rule her world and do the best she can for herself. And you know, what more can you ask as a parent, right? Yeah, I want her to succeed. I'm not going to force her out into the world to do it. Yeah, at some point you got to just jump. You just got to jump into it. But you know, more often than not, when you force young adults out into the world to take it on by themselves, usually they get into trouble. You get into hassles. They get into difficulties, and life gets in the way of life. I don't want, you know, I don't want the inability to pay rent to be a burden on my daughter when her burden should just only be about school, right? That should be her only worry, is making the grade. That's it. That's the only thing she needs to worry about at this point in her life, making the grade. Everything that she does, everything that she has done in her life has led her to this point, and everything that she's doing is leading her to her ultimate goal. And for me, the ultimate goal for her would be that when she goes out into the workplace, the work that she does not feel like work. Okay. My ultimate plan for her would be that she has enough knowledge and information and education to labor with love, so that she never feels like she's working. She's always doing something that makes her feel good and rewarded, and that she's giving back. And that's all that I can hope for, is that she is able to stay on that track, you know, which is why I got no issues at all with her staying at home and going about her life the way she sees fit. I've never been one for controlling. I've never been one for forcing my beliefs or ways upon anyone. I mean, you take it or leave it. You either get it, you understand what I got to say, it means something to you, or you're looking at me, oh, this guy's a moron. What am I going to listen to him for? Well, then fine, move along. I mean, I can't help everyone. And you can only help those that help themselves. And if you're not going to help yourself, I'm not going to bother trying to help you anymore. I've been down that road. I've tried to help people who won't help themselves, and what happens? Um, Usually, they just go along and have a happy-go-lucky life. Like, nothing's wrong. I'll fuck over everybody, and it's okay. Um, but no, I'm done helping people for their sake, because if they don't want to get help, if they don't want to be helped, if they can't help themselves, well, nothing I can do will help them either. It's unfortunate. It's just the way it is. Good morning, weirdos. Yeah. Anyways. What kind of Willie Nelson movies have y'all seen? I have only seen. I don't think I've seen any Willie Nelson movies. I've heard of The Red-Headed Stranger. Never saw it. There's a couple of other movies out there that have popped up on these streaming channels, and I think I've chucked them into my list, but I haven't had a chance to sit and watch any. And it could just be one of those things where they're just they being the money handlers. They just figure, well, if Willie Nelson's music is that popular, then maybe we can get some money out of him through movies. Let's make him a movie star, and now we can make more money off him. Because that's usually the way it works. It's all about the money, all about the Benjamins. Now, one of the last movies that I think Willie Nelson did, at least that's the one that I remember the most, the one that stands out the most as being recent, is the reboot of The Dukes of Hazzard. And that's actually one that I don't find all that irritating, really. It's done in much the same fashion as the show, The Dukes of Hazzard. You get the old narrator creeping in. The music is very similar, with the exception of the actual songs that are moved into the soundtrack. What's her name? Wonder Woman. Linda, was that her? The Wonder Woman actress. She is in this as an aunt, I think. And then, of course, Willie Nelson playing Uncle Jesse, which I think was a perfect replacement for the original Uncle Jesse. And that was the actor. Oh, what was the actor's name? He played the mountain man on Grizzly Adams, right? Opposites Dan Haggerty. Oh, I don't remember his name. What was his name? The actor, the old scruffy guy that played Uncle Jesse on the original Dukes of Hazzard. Oh, it keeps coming into my head and then going out again. Uncle Jesse, ooh, Uncle Jesse. Anyway, so the movie is great. Johnny Knoxville. He's one of those underrated, understated, underused guys in Hollywood. While he came out of nowhere and got famous for being a dipshit on Jackass, he really is not a bad actor, at least from what I see. I liked him in Walking Tall with Dwayne Johnson. Not a huge Dwayne Johnson fan, especially when he's doing the whole Dwayne Johnson thing. I can do a Dwayne Johnson movie if he's not going out of his way to be that guy, which most of his stuff now I can't stand. But Johnny Knoxville now, yeah, in Walking Tall, in the movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger about the little town that gets overrun by tough guys. That's a great one. But back to Dukes of Hazzard with Willie Nelson. Now it's neat that Burt Reynolds took the part of Boss Hogg, because if you remember, the original Boss Hogg was that little scrawny guy who I believe was a Shakespearean actor. He was a really, really gifted actor, the guy who played the original Boss Hogg. But Willie Nelson and Burt Reynolds together, I think they have a couple of scenes together only. But yeah, really, really cool stuff. And then there's the guy who plays Roscoe P. Coltrane. That actor, he goes all the way back to Chips, Cheers, you name it. He was probably in it at some point in the 80s or 90s. He really stood out in MC Gainey. That's his name. MC Gainey is the actor who played Roscoe P. Coltrane in the New Dukes of Hazzard. Now, he really stood up in my mind when I saw him in the TV series, 2004 TV series Lost, and he played one of the villains on the islands. The bearded man. He was the bearded man. Just about everything that MC Gainey has done, he's really stood out. Not just because he's a big guy, but he has a really strong face, features, his voice. He's got a real powerful voice. So yeah, MC Gainey, thank you for doing what you do. Good stuff. Now, I'll have to admit that I have probably heard more Willie Nelson music than I have seen Willie Nelson on movies or television. And sure, I think that was probably. I don't think Willie Nelson was watching a movie one day and said, "I want to be that guy. I want to act. I want to do this. I'm going to assume that it was the idea of an agent or a producer who thought, let's get Willie Nelson. Let's get Willie Nelson. And he does have a strong presence. He's got a great voice. He's got a great face. And he has great emotion. That Willie Nelson. So I mean, it's not a stretch to think, hey, let's put him in a movie. I'll have to look back to see where he first popped up in TV and movies and why. More than likely, it was some kind of a concert show, like Midnight Special or something, some kind of thing like that, or a talk show or something. But yeah, we'll have to look into Willie Nelson and see what kind of stuff he's done as far as music and or TVs and movies. That is good stuff right there. I got to get one of those hot plates to keep my cup warm while I'm sitting here, so I don't have to keep getting up and warming it up. Because I'll tell you, it gets a little cold, and then the room gets cold, and then it's just hard to keep the coffee warm. Coffee just don't want to stay warm. It just cools off too quick. Now, when I lived up in the north, and it was always near zero temperature wise. You could never keep the coffee warm. I mean, you really had to have a double walled insulated mug with a lid and a zipper hole just to keep the damn heat in. And even then, under an hour and your shit's frozen. And that sucks because I hate cold coffee unless it's supposed to be cold. I had one of those jobs, well, several times, those jobs where you're kind of stuck in an office all day, or in a warehouse or in a factory, and you wind up just drinking coffee all day long, and you're drinking on a cup until it's ice cold, and then you're drinking on the next cup until it's ice cold, and you're drinking ice cold coffee most of the day. It drove me to the damn doctor. I mean, of course, what did he say? Don't drink the coffee. So I did. I gave it up for a while. Yeah, like 10 years. I'm one of those guys who decides that that's it, and then that's it. I don't want to drink coffee anymore. I just stopped drinking. I just switched to tea or just go cold turkey onto something else or nothing. When I stopped smoking cigarettes, same thing, just cold turkey. And of course, when I quit smoking cigarettes, I didn't have the means or the money. Means I didn't have any place to get any pot, so it's not like I could just, up my pot game, to cover for the fact that I'm not smoking cigarettes. So while I was still smoking marijuana, when I gave up cigarettes, it was rough because there wasn't a whole lot of marijuana to smoke. It was before it had become legal recreationally, and it was before I had been injured, and then it was like 2 years after I was injured that I finally got my medical marijuana card, and then I was able to get it, full time, provided I had the money. So yeah, I mean, my marijuana smoking probably didn't go up into the stratosphere until, I don't know, probably the last few years. after a car accident, and then a lot of work and work and work and a lot of pain. I kind of switched into a smoking pot pretty much all the time state of mind. Which doesn't mean that I do this all day long, because sometimes the pain requires that I don't do much, and the pain requires me to deal with it, to smoke a little bit more than usual. My usual is a couple of hits an hour in the morning, and then lately it's been, back off to bed for a couple of hours and then get up at about noon and make my daughter food, get her ready for her day, whatever that day may bring. And then I kind of just get into my own creative flow. Creativity has been at a premium lately, and I have not been able to get my act together. But that's okay. It comes in waves with me. And right now, just being able to get up and do this every morning and have this routine means the world. And it keeps me on the beam, keeps me going forward. I don't feel like I'm stagnating. And it's mainly because of this morning routine. And like I mentioned previously, I'm lost. And I was. But like I mentioned previously, I had been doing this for the last month or so. I've been doing this, I guess it's been about 4 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks. I've been doing this just 4 days a week, getting up at 4-ish a.m., just 4 days a week, so I could do this with y'all, leaving Friday, Saturday, Sunday open, because those are the days that I usually work. Those are the days that I'm usually cleaning a vacation rental. So I didn't want to schedule anything for those days, but I think what I'm going to do, and I've already reset my alarm, is I'm just going to get up every day at 4-ish in the a.m. And 4 days a week, I'm going to get on and I'm going to be here with you. And then the other 3 days a week, I'm going to have this couple of hours in the morning to myself to start working on some other projects for you. I've got just a grocery list of things that I want to do, and aside from the fact that I've got this insomnia that I've been dealing with since I was a little kid. I've got manic depression, severe, horrible depression, crippling depression that I've had to deal with since I was a little kid. I got social anxieties. I can't function out in the world. I can't deal with authority. I mean, I've got so many mental and emotional issues, which I'm not trying to excuse myself or give excuses like freaking Jason Leto or whatever the fuck his name was the other night on 30 Seconds to Drama Queen. So no excuses, but at the same time, it makes it really hard to keep moving forward and to function on a daily basis. Because I'm 55 and I have literally spent the last 50 some years that I can recall being sad, being bummed out, being hurt, feeling like this is not my place. This world is not where I'm supposed to be, right? Nothing works. Nothing feels right. Nothing, And the last 24 years of my life have been a continual change from where I was as a kid to who I am now. And I don't, while I still have depression and have that whole nature about me, it's nowhere near as bad as it was, 30 years ago. I still have bouts of depression where I will take myself out of the world for days, weeks, months. I've gone years being in such a funk that I got nothing accomplished. My world completely stood still. Depression is such a toll on you mentally and emotionally, but physically as well. When you give up on everything mentally and emotionally, physically your body knows it and your body gives up. I have lost, because of physical injury and depression, I have lost muscle mass. I have lost years out of my life. Literally decades of my life have been lost to depression. And I feel like at this point, I just want to steal as much back as I can, and having this forum to express myself and just say what I want to say, without fear of reprisal, even though I'm going to get it. And you know what? Make your negative comments, because I'm going to delete them and delete you as quick as y'all make them. Because I'm not here to promote anything about myself. I'm not here to sell anything. I'm not here to tell y'all how to live or what to do. I'm just here to share my story and hopefully make some kind of connection with someone and get them to share their story with me. And that's it. That's all there is to it. That's my channel in a nutshell. Hi, this is me. How are you? Who are you? How are you? That's it. And it seems kind of weird, especially nowadays, when you turn on anything and it's somebody telling you how to be, how to live, what to do, what to think, what to wear, what to eat. And this is the opposite, okay? This is not me telling you what to do. It's just me asking you what you do, how you do it. Let me warm up my coffee again. Yeah, like I said, I've had to deal with stress and anxiety and depression and all this shit. I mean, on like quantum levels, right? For most of my life. I mean, it's like when your earliest memories are fear and pain and suffering, hunger, and fear. it makes you wonder what the fuck's going on all the time, you know, and, you know, yeah, it just makes you feel like the world is a scary place no matter what, you know. And when I was a teenager, you know, I was like 10 years into my life that I knew it, you know, at about 14, 15 years old. That's about 10 years from when you start processing memories and stuff at about, you know, 3, 4 years old. So, you know, 3 or 4 years old, you start making memories. 10 years after that, you're a teenager. And, so I had about 10 years memory of, you know, sadness, right? Depression, loneliness, that kind of thing, you know, overwhelming, you know, the pits of despair. So now I'm a teenager and I'm actually able to go out and make friends, meet people. I'm smoking pot more and more now at like 15. I'm smoking, you know, on a regular basis, which means once or twice a day, almost every day of the week. And it's only now that I can function out in the world and society and start to make friends and experience things, meet girls, that kind of stuff. But at the same time, I'm still dealing with the shit in my head, right? So I would kind of go out into the world and, you know, just dive right into it and just experience as much as I can, as hard as I can. And then it would become so overwhelming that I would have to hide. I would literally have to hide from all of the stimuli, all of the friends, all of the people, all of the things, the events, everything going on. Because I would just be like literally so overwhelmed with emotion. And to sneeze, it won't go away. I'm not going to cry. So I would be around for a while and then I would be gone for a while. And, you know, where's Mike? I don't know. Where is he? I don't know. You know, he was around last week, and I would have to take myself out of the mix, take myself out of the movie, you know, and I was literally, it's a movie. I was the guest star in my own movie, you know, a special guest, because I was only present off and on for very little throughout much of my life. I've been more of a spectator than a participant in most of my life. And that's probably out of fear, fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of being sent into another catastrophic depression, you know, because you get to the point to where you just don't give a shit and you would just rather flip a switch and turn everything off and just be done with it than to keep having to live the same bullshit, nightmarish, emotional fucking roller coaster that your life is, you know. And for anybody out there who's going to start talking to me about medication, while medication is for some, it is not for everyone, because not everyone is the same. So you cannot treat everyone the same. All right. Everyone has electrochemical stuff going on in their brain that is completely different from the person next to them, and so on and so on. No two brains are alike. No two Grateful Dead shows are the same. No two brains are alike. All right. So that's where I don't go in for pharmaceuticals, because they want to treat everybody as if they are exactly the same, and we're not. That's why I won't go to a doctor whose first impression is to prescribe something to you rather than do some tests and actually want to figure out what's wrong with you, rather than give you a bunch of pills. Try these. Trial and error is no fucking doctor. All right. And I'd rather die in this room here than to go to a doctor who's just going to say, okay, try this. That didn't work. We'll try this. Okay, that didn't work. We'll try this. Okay, that didn't work. And that's what you get when you go to the doctor nowadays, because they've pretty much Googled their way through medical school, right? And because they know for a fact that half of being a doctor is book learning, and the other half is guessing, trying to beat the odds, guesswork. So do I trust doctors nowadays? No. There are no Marcus Welby MDs around anymore. There's no Quincy's. There's no Trapper John MDs. There's no doctors out there who are gonna put their all. And if there are, there are very fucking few of them, because there are not many doctors out there who are gonna put their all into everything that they do every moment of their lives. All right, unless they're out on the fucking golf course. And right now I'm watching Northern Exposure, and this doctor on the show, he pretty much epitomizes everything that we know and we think about doctors. And then when you go to a doctor's office and you visit him, or you see the doctor out in the real world, you know that it's not far off the mark. That most doctors are, first of all, in it for the money, all right, and the prestige of being a doctor. Yes, I'm the first doctor in my family. And they do it for all of those fucking perks, so they can have that car and that house and go play golf. And you say, well, what? They don't deserve that for what they do? They have a hard job. And I'm sure, yeah, they do. But the guy who is being a doctor is no more important in my eyes than the guys who built the hospital that he works in. All right, right down to the guys, the concrete workers who laid the freaking foundation. All right, everybody is as important as the next. And if we don't get to a point in society where we see that and live it, and it's our reality, then we're going to have this hierarchical society where there's always somebody looking down saying, I have more than you, and I'm always going to have more than you, and your shit. Go eat shit. And I'm not saying that we should right now just throw everything into a pot and divvy it up equally, because that's not going to work. We have too many greedy people in the world who there is no way they would cut loose with any of their precious money. All right, because they earned it. Even though, how do you actually say that you're worth $200,000 or $300,000 a year because you sit behind a desk and get others to do the work for you? I don't get it. Because you make the company billions of dollars every year, you should be more important than the guy out on the street shining your shoes every morning for a neck. Yeah. All right. I have issues. All right. I have issues with people of authority and people of great power and wealth, and all of these misuse all of their money and their power and their wealth and their influence. I mean, we live in squalor, in a friggin' hovel, right? And I I'm always willing to give up any of it to help someone or bring someone in to help them at the drop of a hat. Because that's the way I am. That's the way I'm programmed. And I programmed me. I didn't get that programming from my home life as a child, believe me. I got that programming myself because a lot of people helped me when I was young, on up into my 20s. I was helped by numerous people and countless families who helped me. So the lessons I learned were to pay it forward, and to help out. And if you can't pay back the people who helped you, then you need to pay it forward and you need to help out someone. You need to continue that cycle, right? So that, that's what I try to do on the smallest level and on the biggest level that I can deal with in my life. And if that means, renting a car and running off to rescue someone in another state, I'm going to do that, and not because I'm thinking, well, I'm going to make money off it. I'm going to charge them extra. That's not the way I do things. I do it first of all for whoever needs the help, and second of all, I do it for me because it feels good to help people. I don't expect to be repaid for helping people, because me helping people is my way of repaying for the help that I've been given. So, guard your heart, because I've learned that lesson. But help people. It's easy to help a stranger who remains a stranger, because you can help that person and then move on. Okay. And it makes you feel really good because you've stepped into someone's life, helped them achieve something, help them eat or find a warm place to sleep, and then you're able to move on. Okay. It's a lot harder to help family or friends or even acquaintances or coworkers or something, because they're, if they don't show a certain amount of what do you call it? Help me out. If they don't show a certain amount of thank you, right? Then sometimes we're like, oh, well, I did all of this and all they did was, this, and that can be a bummer, because you expect more than they're willing to do for themselves sometimes, So I'm done helping out people who I'm going to have to then deal with on a regular basis. Because if, who does it help someone and then expect something in return, even if that with which we require in return is only the knowledge of knowing that your help was for the good and not just a waste of your time, right? That the help that you gave allowed them the ability to help themselves. And when that doesn't happen, when they just take that help and then use it and then wipe their ass with it and then stick their hand out and want more help, then it's a real bummer, especially if it's a friend or a loved one, family member, that kind of thing, Because helping someone is a two-sided deal. It requires two people to help. It requires the person who is helping, and then the person who is being helped needs to step up and then help themselves. And when that doesn't happen, then it becomes one-sided, And then we feel like buffoons for having tried to help someone, you know. So, you know, um, regardless of who you are, family, friend, stranger, whatever, acquaintance, coworker, if you ask for my help, you're going to get it. Now, I'm going to decide at what degree of help I'm going to give, because you have to. You can't just say, "Oh, well, here, you know, here, take everything, take my home, take my family, you know, take everything, take all that you need, leave me whatever you don't," you know, because that don't work. You know, there's a lot of users in the world, and when they turn out to be family and friends and, you know, that kind of stuff, and then you have to then be in contact with them again and again and again, it just makes it a drag. So yeah, be careful, not who you help necessarily, definitely who you help, be careful, but be careful how you help and how much you help and how much you invest yourself into the help. You know, if you know that there's a possibility that you're going to get hurt again and again and again, well, then if you need the help, you need to just, you know, limit your help, gauge your help accordingly, and then stay, you know, stay uninvested in it emotionally. Give the help and then walk away, you know. Yeah. Anyways, so, you know, like I said, I'm exhausted and I got nothing to talk about, as you can hear. Guy's got nothing to say, but he won't shut up. Right? Right. Yeah, it's just a symptom of my insanity. My lips are flapping. You know, I guess that it's easier for me to talk because there's always there's always something going through my head, some kind of scenario, some kind of story, some kind of memory, um, some kind of alternate universe. There's always something going on in my head. Um, Lately, I have not been able to remember dreams, but I have had vivid dreams lately. And of course, once I wake up, they're gone. Um, I do recall a few people who stand out in those dreams, and I wish those people would leave. Um, they have been excommunicated from my life, and I wish they would stay gone. But isn't that the way it works? Yeah. So nobody's checked in yet. Nobody's given any comments or anything. It's about 6:15 in the a.m. On the 19th of January here. Is it the 19th or 18th? It is the 18th of January, 2024. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, like I've said before, I grew up in Southern California, mainly in the Lake Elsinore area, uh, the Lake Elsinore Valley, from let's say Lake Elsinore down to Fallbrook, and all the little communities and villages and townships in between, Temecula and Murietta, Murietta Hot Springs area, Wildemar, Lakeland Village, Lake Elsinore Four Corners area, all the way out to Paris, Hemet, up into Anza and Awanga. And that was pretty much my stomping ground in my teens and 20s, kind of that whole area. And it's a pretty good size strip of the 15 and 215 freeways. Big, huge area. But yeah, we got to that area in 75, 76, and kind of bounced off and on in and out of there until we got to Fallbrook in 77, and then Temecula, and then Murietta, and then by the early 80s, living in Lake Elsinore full time, going to school there full time, and living life there full time, unless I was self-extracted for depression purposes. Yeah. And like I've said before, I don't hold any animosity toward any parent or relative or friend or anything for anything that transpired during those years. I can't claim to understand why a person does something because I'm not that person. I didn't live that person's life. I did not live that person's experiences. I did not walk in that person's shoes. So I can't claim to understand why my mother and father did this or did that. They did things for their reasons and because of who they were. So therefore, I can't be mad or upset or hold anger or animosity or anything toward pretty much anybody for any of that, because yeah, I can be upset and oh, why me, but what the hell's that going to do? I mean, most of the people who I would have any issues with, well, most of them are gone anyway, or their lives don't mean anything to me one way or the other. So why would it affect me? Write an angry letter and throw it away. I mean, I'm not that kind of guy. If I write an angry letter, I'm going to mail the damn thing, and a picture of me going, fuck you. And that's just the way I am. If you screw me over, then we're pretty much done. That's it, period. And you better not come back around for at least 10 years, because that's pretty much about how long I hold a grudge, 8 to 10 years. Unless you're just a complete idiot, and then we're done permanently. And unfortunately, there are a couple of those. I got to warm this coffee up again. I really need to get some kind of coffee warmer plate thingy. That would be advantageous. Advantageous. All right, what do you think, people? You like the room better without me here? Blah 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 blah. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder. Sometimes I really wonder. Advantageous, pantages. Yeah. So let's see. Where were we? Yeah, there have been a couple of people that have been asked to stay out of my life. Every once in a while, somebody pokes their head back in and goes, "Hey, remember me?" And I still remember you and what you fucking did. So fuck off. And that's unfortunate, because I don't want to have that going on. I mean, it takes a lot of energy to dislike somebody, to hate somebody, to go out of your way to avoid thinking about somebody. It really is a bummer, and there's enough out there in the world that I have to avoid, because it just fucks with my head too much. So when it winds up being a person who should be really, really close to you, that you have to try to avoid, That makes it even worse. And what makes it worse is when every once in a while, too often, they pop up and go, "Hey, what about me?" And you just want to grab them by the neck, you know, and that sucks. That there just sucks. Yeah. Looks like the old Son of Rooney is coming up again. And let me see if I turn this light off. Can we see the colors? Well, let's see if we, actually, I think we do get a little bit of orange now. But, yeah, man. Yeah, anyway, I don't like to not like somebody. I mean, there were a lot of people in my life who, I never want to see again. Bullies and authority figures, most of which are probably gone now. But I never wanted to hate anyone. As often as I felt hatred, sheer out and out hatred for something or someone, it's not like I, coveted it. I wasn't like, oh, I love to hate. Let me just sit around and decide what else I can hate. And all these let me gather together all the things in the world that I hate. There's a song for you. All the things I hate. Yeah. Because like I said, it takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot out of you to hate. And as much as I never wanted to hate, I had a lot of hate going on. I mean, I hated my parents. I hated my family. Everybody. I just felt like I had been lied to and used my entire life. Like nobody was ever going to come clean and tell me what the hell was really going on, right? And I got to the point where I just accepted it. That you know what, everybody else is in the know, and I'm never gonna know. Everybody else is content and happy, and everybody else can walk around with these stupid smiles on their faces, like everything's just peachy keen, and I know that it's not, and it never will be, right? But everybody just is in this other world, right? And yeah, I never understood it. I still don't understand. But I've accepted it. It is what it is. I'm never going to be that guy who can just walk into a room, ha, 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 so I have to pretend. So I pretend to be that guy. And if I'm pretending to be that guy, well, how many other people are out there pretending to be that guy because they just don't know either, right? And they're so over it as well. How many of those people are on fucking prescription antidepressants, right? I mean, what a fucked up world this is when most people are hooked on booze, are hooked on prescription medication, or hooked on religion, or hooked on whatever. They got to have something, to sink their fucking their nails into, because they're so freaking afraid of not knowing, right? And sure, for the most part, or for some part, marijuana is my crutch that I sink my fingernails into to keep me from freaking out. But I know it, and I can admit it freely, that this is the thing that has kept me afloat and has kept me from opening up my veins. It has kept me from, walking into a freaking a courthouse and just blasting everybody away with a machine gun. You know, marijuana is the one thing that has kept me tame, you know, has kept me sane, has allowed me the ability to control myself, you know, and control my place in the world. And, you know, while I don't have a huge, important place in this world, I can feel comfortable in, you know, where I am and my little place in this world and my little part that I play in this world. And, you know, I mean, what do you do when your part in the world is to just be the one of those grains of sand on the beach, you know? And that's pretty much for the most part what we all are. You know, we're just one little atom in this big giant machine. You know, we're not even a cog or a wheel or a gear or a spring. I mean, we are literally, you know, there's that word again, but we're a piece of this on a quantum level. We're so minuscule. And why is that? Well, because there's so many people on this freaking planet, you know. When you have so many people on the planet, it's easy to sit on one side of the world and look over at the other side of the world and think, well, we lost 100,000, 200,000 of those people over there. So, you know what, we got a lot of people, you know, so, you know, we're not too worried about it, you know. And that's the way it is. Otherwise, those 100 or 200,000 people dying wouldn't equal, you know, nothing more than just the candlelight vigil they become, and a monument, and that's it, you know. And that's what they get. That's what we, you know, what do we all get? I mean, the average person, you know, they might get a tombstone or a little box of ashes. I mean, is that really it, you know? And then on the way extreme, well, what do? We leave billions of dollars to our inheritance. We leave a foundation. We leave monuments, you know. But what the fuck is all that for? What does all that mean? Does it do anything? You know, I was here. You know, tell them Kilroy was here. Give me a fucking break. You know, I think there should be fewer people on the planet, and the people who are on the planet need to have a better fucking direction, because what we got going on now is floundering. Humanity is floundering. Society is ass backwards. All right. Right now, society has got its head up its TikTok, and we need to do something. You know, watching videos and commenting on memes, and hate, you know, and oh no, really, I really love hate, but look at me, I love hate, you know. Yeah, something has got to change, you know. And of course we get these devices, right? We get these devices that are supposed to allow us to communicate, you know, equally on a global scale, right? Everybody's got a fucking smartphone now. Everybody, you know. And I mean, the poorest people, homeless people, right? Bums on the street. And I can say bum because I was a bum on the street, right? Been there, done that. Everybody's got a freaking smartphone, all right? And you would think that we would be able to gather humanity together on one level, um, and make it happen. You know, humanity should have gone viral at this point. I mean, we should be, arm in arm, walking down the street together as one people on this planet, picking up the homeless and feeding them, taking care of the sick and infirmed, right? Finding actual cures, not um, fucking fake remedies. Let's have actual cures for shit, not just decades worth of prescription bullshit. Um, I mean, but by now we should have taken it so much further. Arm in arm, marching through the streets, planting trees, cleaning the water, cleaning up the neighborhoods. You know, giving the people who are downtrodden and have no choice but to turn to drugs and crime, giving them another reason. Because bada bing, I was there too. You know, when you have a purpose, all right, when you have a reason to get up every day, a reason to feel good about yourself, it's a complete 180 from where you were. All right. If you've never had to struggle, if you've never had to, be hungry or not be able to pay a bill or rent or had to live on the fucking street, then you don't know. So, and you don't have to know to be able to care or to help. All you got to do is accept the fact that not everybody's got it easy. A lot of people out there have got it fucked. Because there's too many people on the planet. And it would not be so bad if more of the people had knowledge, had intelligence. And once again, it goes back to here we have this thing that can answer every question that we can ask. All right. And it allows us the ability to get together on an equal level. All right. And figure shit out. And what do? We play fucking games. I gave up playing those games 10 years ago. I got on Facebook and phones and it was like, wow, this is cool. I can play these cool little jewel clickety games. I was a farmer on Facebook. And I saw myself, I as I often do, I take a step outside of myself and I look down and look to see who I am and what I'm doing. And I didn't like what I saw. It was no less than 10 years ago, probably had more than 10 years ago when I looked down at myself and saw myself playing these stupid games and watching these stupid videos and scrolling, and all the time wasted. I mean, so much time wasted. Time wasted for myself, time wasted with my family. And I've never been a real social person. So it was really easy to hide inside of that phone. And inside of the computer. And I would just dive into the computer and chase rabbits down holes and play games and would have a routine of play this, play that, play this. I created Facebook persona accounts just so that I could help myself farm, because I didn't have anybody on Facebook at the time who would play those same games that I was playing. And anybody that I did ask would, I don't play that crap. Don't ask me for help. And so I just created a few of my own Facebook friends, right? And then I could log in and out of different accounts and send myself stuff, right? Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and help myself out that way. And I remember after I created these characters and just was so proud of myself for allowing me the ability to stay on Facebook and to farm and to play these games for longer periods of time. I became disgusted with myself, you know, because it was just you know, time wasting. How can I stay divested? Is that uninvested in my life? You know, what else can I do to not be here in the now, but be somewhere else in some other little world, right? And when you've had to take antidepressants for like years and miss your daughter, you know, growing up, and miss emotional context with events, then, you know, it's easy to understand what it's like to lose parts of your life, and then to just completely give your life over to this little, what's turned into the new idiot box here, right? And to just, you know, give yourself over to it. You know, it became real easy for me to just say, you know what, enough is enough. You know, no more fake games. I'm going to limit myself to less than an hour a day, period. Which means literally getting on, scrolling a couple of swipes, and if there's nothing interesting and nothing has changed, then that's it. I don't need to get on there, and, you know, invest myself into that world. Now, lately, I've been getting on to Facebook so that I can try to get people involved in this whole one-on-one thing. So if you see anything on Facebook from me, it's usually going to be my usual random comments, the usual photos of what I'm doing or listening to or watching, and then promoting this whole idea of the morning show. But outside of that, you know what? I got no reason to be on there unless I get a notification that one of you guys, one of my family or friends, have posted something, and then I have to cross my fingers and hope that it's a real post and not a hand-me-down post. I love to get the posts that show me a photograph and a paragraph of what's going on in somebody's life. Now that right there, those are like golden coins dropped into the piggy bank that is my heart, right? And I really get a kick out of those types of posts, or when somebody comments on one of my posts. Now, when it comes to somebody sharing somebody else's post, well, that's great if it's somebody that means something to them. Then they mean something to me. But if it's like, hey, this organization, you know, has got this deal going on, and, you know, so I'm sharing it with everybody because I'm going to get a portion of. It's like, no, I don't want to even go there. You know, I don't want to get into those things that are political or religious or you know, propaganda-ish. That's not where I'm at. You know, I want real people. Let's talk about your real lives. Let's see what you've got to say. You know, yeah, that to me, that's what it's about. So I try to stay I try to stay as off Facebook as I can. The main reason is that when I get emotionally invested in something, um, I'll really let Facebook have it, whether it's something that makes me feel good or something that has made me feel bad. I'm gonna let it out on Facebook because that is my venue of expressing whatever's going on in my life, albeit good or bad. All right. I remember a while back, I did like 60 posts. All right. Just raging um, at an event that occurred in my life. Um, and I look back at that event and it's like, you know what? I'm glad I'm here now because um, now is the place for that. This is the forum for that. I think Facebook is going to be my uh, my commercial time, my time for letting you all know what's going on in my life, and to come over here and share your life with me. Uh, Other than that, I don't think I'm going to be, you know, venting too much more on Facebook, at least not on that level, because that was out of control. And I apologize to any friends or family who had to go through that, scratching their head, going, "What the hell is he talking about? He keeps talking about some shit that I don't know what the fuck he's talking about." I had people calling me, family and friends calling me, going, "What the hell is going on?" Um, and so I'm sure if you've been following along and you've been reading what's been going on in my life the last couple of years, then you probably understand what happened and how it happened and who happened to me. Um, but I'm not a shit talker, so I'm not gonna ever connect the person with the situation because it isn't fair. It isn't fair to me to to be emotionally invested in that, and it's not fair to the other person. When you talk shit on somebody, they don't have the opportunity to stand up and defend themselves. Even if there's no defending what they did, it still isn't fair. Uh, so I won't ever be bringing up that person in connection to the events that occurred in my life. Those events are over. That part of my life is gone. That person has been excommunicated from my life. So I no longer have to worry about any of that. So therefore, it's gone. The only bummer is that um, it happened on Facebook. Now I'm not going to go back and delete stuff on Facebook. I don't believe in deleting portions of your life for whatever reason. That's like counter. Um, what do they call that? Cancel culture. All right. I am not one for cancel culture. I don't even delete blurry photos. Okay. If I got 20 of the same shot, I keep all 20. All right. Because there's something in every one of those shots. All right. There's something in every single freaking memory, whether it's good or bad, whether you like it or you don't. To me, it's cancel culture just to say, I'm going to delete it. Now, if you all leave a shitty comment or something here, you will be deleted, period. Um, your comment will be deleted and we won't talk about you anymore. You will be excommunicated. And that's because this is not the venue for that. It's not a forum for negativity, you know, which is why I won't talk about anybody negatively um, by name. Not a chance. Uh, And mainly because I've been talked about. There are people out there right now in this world talking shit on me. There are probably people out there in this world right now who have claimed to be my friend or family or loved one, who are out there in the world right now talking shit on me. Okay. I'm used to it. From the time I was a little kid with, you know, um, dirty, shitty clothes on and grubby, tangled, mangled hair and a smeared, dirty face. Um, you know, from then, people have been talking shit on me, and I've heard the whispers, and have had people talk shit to me right to my face. So while it sucks, and you don't really get used to it ever, I've become accustomed to the idea that not many people on this planet like me or care for my way of thinking. Some people don't even like the way I talk. And yes, I do talk differently. I do have a speech pattern about me that is a little wonky. I use weird words. I phrase things differently. Um, I have a lot of weird shit going on in my head, and it makes the words come out uh, in strange ways. But I don't try to um, limit or regulate what I say or how I say it. I just try my hardest to be unoffensive, right? I don't, because I've been offended a lot just by somebody, and not necessarily what they say, but how they say it, right? Um, so I'm not going to poke my big fat finger at people, and I'm not going to, you know, tisk and tell people how to live their lives. Um, and mainly because it ain't my life. This is my life. You know, I don't tell my wife what to do. I don't tell my daughter what to do. I don't even tell my dogs what to do. The dogs in my house have limited rules. They're not allowed to chew on anything. They're not allowed to chew on, right? They're not allowed to fight. And I myself do not discipline them when they fight. Um, my first action when somebody steps on somebody or somebody gets up in somebody's face, and somebody growls and barks and snarls and bites, my first reaction is to get down on their level and get both of them um, close to me and throw as much love at them as I can. Oh, you guys don't. You guys love each other. Be nice. Be good boys. Be love each other. Be good. Yeah, we love each other. And get my face down in there and get both of them to kiss me. And then they wind up kissing each other, and everything's better. Everything's done. I wish the world could do this, right? On a global level, everybody could just get together and give everybody a big hug and kiss and say everything's okay, right? But that's the way it is with my dogs in the house, and with my wife and daughter. You know what? It's their lives. We just share our lives together, but I don't live their lives. You know, I don't. I try not to harp on anyone about things that are going on. You know, on occasion we have disagreements and frustrations, and I try my hardest to make sure that it doesn't turn to anger or hate. Because there's no place for that. We have no place for that in the world. Why would you allow any of that in your home, right? Um, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. So I guess I'm going to be off for a few days, and I'm going to try to watch some kind of Willie Nelson thing. Rockford Files is on a few streaming channels, Roku and I think Prime. So I think I'm going to dig through the Internet Movie Database, the IMDb, and see if I can find which episode of the Rockford Files Willie Nelson had something to do with. And then find out what other movies I can dig up with Willie Nelson and try to watch something, watch a show or a movie or two over the next few days, so that next week, Thursday is movie day. So if y'all want to discuss a movie, let's talk about a movie. I don't know, did we talk about a movie today? We were going to talk shark movies, but nobody really chimed in with any shark stuff. Now, for my money, the Meg stuff has got it going on. Meg 1, Meg 2. Is there a Meg 3? I'm sure there's probably something in the works. Although it's not Jaws, it really gives Jaws a run for its money. It really does. It's a nice addition to shark movies. Sharknado, yeah, if you're gonna, be playing beer pong, and running around in your skivvies at a freaking jacuzzi party. Well, these Sharknado movies are probably right up your hot tub alley. But for me, no, I like something a little more, well, just a tiny bit more cerebral than Sharknado. Yeah. So, yeah, I think the world needs more love, less hate. Once again, I think I stated in a previous episode that my idea on handling war is to sleep gas the entire region that's at war and take one from each side of the same age and sex and put them into a room one-on-one, two at a time, and let them work it out. You can either love each other or hate each other, all right? If it's hate, then strangle each other and get the fuck over with. The winner will go to prison for the rest of their lives. That's what we do with the winners. Of course, the losers die and the winners go to prison. So nobody really wins. So what does war give us? It don't give us much worth anything. It has nothing to do with the individual, which is why I say this. It has more to do with the powers that be and propaganda and agenda. All right, there's something going on. There's something going on when there's a war, other than what we're told, what we know, and we as citizens, as civilians, when we allow war to happen, we're guilty as those who create the war, or in their eyes, the need for war, because there's no need for war. There's never a need for war. All right. War is what happens when logic fails. All right. And logic dictates that we work shit out before we beat the fuck out of each other. Right. And if the best you can come up with, all right, is inflicting pain upon the people that you disagree with, there's something wrong. There's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with the philosophy that you believe. There's something wrong. If it's religion that wants you to do this, there's something wrong with your religion. All right. There's never a need for violence when things can be dealt with on a non-violent level. Period. All right. If that's your game, we put you two one at a time,
two at a time together, one from each side in a room. We let you freaking duke it out, or talk it out, or work it out, or whatever. Come to some kind of fucking agreement. All right. And then we take the next two, and the next two, and the next two, and we just let them deal with it. Kill each other, or work it out. But humanity on a global scale has to be so completely done with hate to ever escape it. And I'm not claiming to be some, fucking shaman guru dude who knows it all. All I know is that war and hate completely sucks. All right. And when we have so many other alternatives to war and hate, why would we war and hate upon each other? Right? Well, I don't like the way your religion smells. Well, fuck you. I don't like the way yours looks. I don't get it. I understand what's going on in the Middle East right now, a lot more than some. And I don't like it any more than anyone else. But this has been coming, since we created this whole issue back post World War II, by taking a country and dividing it up and forcing people to literally pick up and leave so that other people can move in and take up root. I get it. I don't understand it at all. How we could have let something like that happen, because it was inevitable for it to get to this point. All right. YouTube at one point had a great couple of documentaries about how that region came about post World War II. And for the life of me, I can't find those documentaries now. I don't know why. But when you realize what started all of this, and all of this started, 80 some years ago at least, this was inevitable. Everything that's going on over there in that region was bound to happen. It was destined to happen because they went about it in the wrong way, flat out. All right. And it was instant division and instant hatred. All right. On the onset was just, and I don't want to get too any deeper into that, because then you get into religion and politics and global dynamics and all of that, and I don't want to go there. That's not what this is about. But I had to get that out, so on my head, and that's what this is about. Getting shit out of my head. So anyway, people, we're at the 2-hour mark, and I think I'm going to call it the show for the day, because I've got some things to do, places to go, people to see, all of that stuff, and I will be getting back with you on Monday morning, and yeah, thanks for stopping by, people. Have a good day. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you Monday. Goodbye, weirdos.